What's up, everybody? It's your favorite girl, Jade Feinics, here, back with yet another episode of the Feinics Gate. And I'm not alone. Introduce yourself.
Hi. In the long version, I am Medic of Gotham 1013. You can just call me MOG 1013.
That's right.
And hopefully, you guys will be seeing more of me as the weeks come.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to call him Mog.
Hey, I'm a Final Fantasy fan,
right.
So Mog works for me.
Yes, it really works.
I just don't do any weather-changing dances.
No. At least not in this outfit.
No. And the only weather I change is I make it rain.
Oh, God.
Because you know I'd be stripping on the weekends.
Yeah, that's true. You do. You know. Hey, what an image. So, all right, we're back. Sorry we didn't cast last week. It's almost Thanksgiving. Things happen. But we're back, and hopefully we will be back consistently every single week for the rest of the year. But tonight, I'm hoping whoever is joining us in the cast is ready, and I'm warning you now, spoilers ahead. Spoilers. So if you have not watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch on Netflix, log off, listen to me later, listen to us later. We are on iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher. I mean, we're everywhere. You could listen to this cast without being mad at me for spoiling Sabrina for you. So, pretty much, yeah.
So, ahead of time, sorry, not sorry.
No, not sorry at all. But, yeah, so let's just dive right into it, honestly, because there's a lot of changes that are coming up for the Feinics Gate. I mean, if you haven't noticed, this is going to be happening a lot more. Why? Because I'm going back to my roots, ladies and gentlemen. I am so tired of trying to cater to everybody being all bumblegum and it doesn't work for me. No. Sorry. No. So that's why he's here. It's like, woo!
What? Apparently we are being invaded.
By what?
Invasion of the Tony Snatcher. Goodbye,
oh,
Tony.
No, not the Tony. No, he can stay. He's fine.
Get back in the production tent.
Scotch. Anyways, but yeah, I got Mog with me now, and he's going to help me reconnect with some really, really deeply buried roots that I've been hiding from everybody for the last, 2-3 years, give or take.
So you're not really hiding them from anybody.
Yeah, haha, you're funny.
I know I am.
Oh, you're so funny. I mean,
he's funny because he's true.
I just haven't had time to go to the salon. The pink will return, or I may change it. Who knows? I haven't decided yet.
Fair enough. But anyway, back to the topic at hand.
Yes.
For those that remember, in the early to mid-90s, on TGIF, they had Sabrina the Teenage Witch, starring probably one of the most iconic female actresses of that era, being Melissa Joan Hart.
Some people say I look like her.
I could see it.
Yeah, I've gotten Melissa Joan Hart. I mostly get Shirley Manson from Garbage, though.
Well, duh.
But they have said that I do resemble Melissa Joan Hart when I'm not wearing heavy duty makeup. Yeah.
But yeah. And then recently, I think, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago, they released it on Netflix?
I would say Halloween.
Halloween. Netflix released I believe it was the Chilling Tales of Sabrina.
Yeah, something like that.
First and foremost, none of the original cast returns.
None.
No Melissa Joan Hart, no Caroline Rhea, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
That being said, the actress they cast to play Sabrina Spellman does strike a striking resemblance to Melissa Joan Hart, but like a much younger one, around like the Clarissa Explains It All years.
Yes, I do agree.
But with the short hair out of the Archie comic books.
Yes, and the black headband.
Mm-hmm.
She did start sporting the black headband, kind of like Gwen Stacy, kind of. But the funny thing is Sabrina did it first.
Yeah. And then in the long and short of it, they do make references to Archie comics, because during the series they do make references to Riverdale, which is another series on mainstream television.
Yep, which is basically what happened in the original Sabrina, because Sabrina was in Archie comics.
Yes.
So they're really sticking true to that. And I like that.
Yeah, I do. But anyway, this Sabrina is a lot darker, but in a way a lot more politically minded than the original.
Yeah. Okay. I can. Yeah.
But in a very different way, because traditionally when you have quote unquote mortals interacting with witches, it's usually the mortals with pitchforks and torches and stakes and nooses and whatnot. We don't need to talk about that.
No, the burning times we don't need to speak of.
But that being said, I found it weird after watching, and I literally binge watched the whole series last night, so it's fresh in my mind.
He did.
It's sort of odd that the witches are almost portrayed more like those Christian Puritans back in those times, where they're very patriarchal, very overbearing, very our way or the highway, which is normally, you know, the way people would consider the Christians, Puritans, however you want to say it, how they were acting towards the witches back in that time.
Yeah, you know, it's actually kind of interesting to see that twist.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it because if you didn't already figure out, both Mog and I are practicing witches. We actually have been as long as we've known each other, and that's like close to like 17 or 18 years. You know?
Damn, we're old.
Yeah, I know. Considering the fact that my hands cramped up with like arthritic pain from playing Spyro yesterday.
Spyro?
Yeah, I got the new remastered trilogy.
Okay,
but I'm not going off. I'm not going off on a tangent here. Tony, you really are blocking people.
See, Tony is to our
He's my
broadcast,
familiar.
yes, but to our broadcast, he's kind of that balding, middle-aged guy in the sound booth smoking like chain cigarettes.
Yeah.
Going like, this is going to be ratings gold, people. Ratings gold.
The funny thing is he's not even, there's like a fly in front of you or something. There's like, he's not even facing the camera. If he was facing the camera, I'm pretty sure they would enjoy his pretty face. See, look at that face. Look at that face. Brad. Anyways, so like, yeah, we are practicing witches. And honestly, like, there's a lot of discrimination that goes with someone saying, hey, I'm a witch.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, and as much as overall, I enjoyed the Chilling Tales of Sabrina, the Teenage Witch. Mm-hmm. That being said, that series had one huge glaring problem.
Gigantic.
And that is the fact that on this miniseries, new show, I'm not quite sure what it's going to be just yet.
They're going to try to make it a series like they did Riverdale.
Okay.
And we are getting a Christmas special December 14th.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I want to watch it.
Yeah. But that having been said, I kind of take a little bit of umbrage with the fact that everything magical has to do with 5 words. Satan. Satan. And honestly, as a practicing witch, I'm going to be the first one to say, not today, Satan.
We actually, as depending on your, what's the word I'm looking for here? Pantheon or your practice, most of us, I would say 99% of us, do not believe in Satan. There is no Satan in witchcraft. Not really. There's negative energy. There's dark energy. There's dark gods. Mm-hmm. Demons, yeah, they exist. Negative ghosts, bad ghosts, all sorts of shit. Yeah, but we, honest to God, do not have Satan. No. That's a Catholic thing.
Yeah, that was sort of like a big, scary figurehead to scare all the, the children. No, witchcraft is bad. Being a child of nature is bad. Come to the warm embrace of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and then feel bad about everything you do afterwards. Don't touch yourself. You're going to go to hell, Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fap.
Like double click that mouse right there. Yes. Anyways, yes. But no, I mean, like, and then on top of that, because they used a statue of Baphomet, now they're getting sued by the church. Was it Satanist church?
Yeah.
They said they did not ask permission to use a copy of their idol that they actually use in front of their church. Mm-hmm. Yet meanwhile, I think it was, what was I reading the other day? That the actual Council of Satanists or whatever I don't know Satanism well, so whatever. But they're saying they don't really care. It's the actual church that they actually built that has a problem.
You mean like the Catholic Church anytime they're portrayed in a negative light? Not saying, just saying?
Oh no! Oh, priest touching boys. Oh my God.
It's not a sin. It's not a sin.
It's not a sin, my child. Just, I'm sorry. I need to drink some more mead for that.
There. Now that the major elephant in the room is out, or goat. That being said, I also had a bit of a problem with the fact that Salem didn't talk, especially because at the end, the iguana familiar of the other witch did talk.
Yes, he did.
The Raven.
The Raven.
Miss Satan. Madam Satan.
That's not Madam Satan. That's apparently one of our bitches. That's
Yeah.
Lilith.
She said flat out, I am
I'm
Lilith.
Lilith.
And then I was kind of like, oh. And then she's like, but I call myself Madam Satan. Then I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's kind of like how in like House of the Thousand Corpses you have Dr. Satan. You know, it's kind of how
but
it's annoying.
it is.
It is.
Satan this, Satan that. It's bad enough we had to watch Satan get his ass kicked by the androids in Dragon Ball Z.
That too. I mean, and then on top of that, like also you like if you watch Supernatural, you know, Lucifer is in there, and I think they did have Lilith.
Yeah,
they did. They did. There's always been like whenever you see Lucifer, usually Lilith goes hand in hand. Why? Because Lilith is the dark goddess that fell before him.
Mm-hmm.
Like in actuality, Lilith was there before Lucifer.
Yeah. Like
so,
I mean, you know, in the greatest story ever told. You know, says Lucifer was cast out of paradise and he landed in hell. It's kind of like a guy in his mid-30s moving back in with his mom. Mom, I need a place to stay. Mom, the meatloaf.
Get the meatloaf back.
Mom, meatloaf.
I mean, let's not get it twisted. We're not bashing Christianity or Catholicism. If that's what you believe, that's what you believe. It's just not what we follow.
No, we follow the 13th. I'm sorry. Yeah, the 13th. No, 11th. The 11th commandment laid down by the great patron saint of humor, St. George Carlin. Mm-hmm. And that is keep thy religion to thyself.
Basically. I mean, you don't see me coming on here every week sitting here going, oh, I'm going to teach you how to do this spell and you can learn how to do that. And if you totally vibe with the total, like,
well, this isn't Wicked Club from Buffy the Vampire
Slayer.
And
we're not Wiccan.
No.
That's the other thing. Like, people need to understand that Sabrina actually does get some things right where, like I said, with the different pantheons, there are satanic witches. There are, you know, just like there are Wiccans, there are Earth Children, there are hippies, you know, like yogis are actually really a form of witchcraft if you
Druids,
think about it.
Stregas, etc.
Exactly. You know, this is just a different take on a beloved character that we've had since, God, my mom must have been a kid.
Well, yeah, when she came out in Archie Comics, probably.
Yeah.
Probably
in the 60s. She came out in the 60s.
Yeah, so our parents were kids.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking about a generational character who, believe it or not, is now going into, I would say would be the third generation incarnation.
Yeah, because you have the comic books, then we had Melissa Joan Hart, and now this is the third.
Exactly. So, I mean, honestly, I think Netflix did a great job.
Yeah, in terms of production quality, the storylines, they were engaging. I mean, there were certain points where they lulled a little bit, but hey, that's you know, that sets up for like the big, you know.
What's going to happen now?
For example, the one where they're all locked in the mortuary with the sleep demon, with the nightmare demon.
Yeah.
And then magically, like, oh, you know, how are they going to figure their way out of this? Boom, here comes who turns out to be Lilith going, this is what you need to do. Right. And you see that character in and of herself start to darken as the series progresses. Because when you first see her, she's very prim and proper. She looks like, you know, your traditional sexy librarian out of a porno movie.
Well, she's still trying to fit in at that point.
And then afterwards, it's like glasses gone. Then it's, you know, when the cheesy music comes in.
Oh, yes. You know, like, look at me. I'm a sex kitten. Meanwhile, she's eating her sexual partners. You know, it's like there is a reason why men sometimes call us bloodsuckers. Because, you know, Lilith. Lilith's the original bloodsucker. Mm-hmm. It's true. I mean, literally.
Yeah, I mean, she did take Adam's virginity.
She did. Saying. She took Adam's virginity, and then she did create the race of vampires.
With Cain.
Yes, with Cain. And how they reference Cain in Sabrina.
Yeah.
Cain Pit.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Which goes right into, from another sect, being the Batman universe, with Ra's al Ghul and the Lazarus Pits.
Truth.
Now you got two different pantheons or different sects of television, and they both need to make reference to some Christian entity to explain resurrection. Now, Jade, I could have sworn that there was something else out there that was like from our world that was a symbol of resurrection.
Oh, I don't know. What could it be?
I don't know. What could it be? Oh, look, there it is. It's a fucking phoenix.
Hi. I mean, what the hell else are we called for?
Exactly.
I mean, granted, the spelling may not be traditional, but it is Gaelic which is of the Druid tradition. We both practice. I dabble a little bit. He's full blown. I dabble because I'm an eclectic witch. I refuse to follow any one pantheon, mainly because there's like several that I'm called to.
My pantheon is eclectic. It's just my core beliefs are very druidic.
Your core beliefs are very druidic. Mine are more Egyptian.
Which is funny because my patron deity is Egyptian.
Which is funny because my patron deity is Celtic. So.
And my patron goddess is Norse, so that's completely out of left field.
We'll get into that in another show.
Yeah.
Where we can actually explain like how we came to be to the callings that we are. But we're talking Sabrina today.
Yeah, we're talking about Sabrina. Okay, so let me tell you about this bitch Sabrina here. Okay. No, I enjoyed it. I thought it was very well made. Little like things here and there that maybe nodded to the original when it comes to like Hilda and Zelda. Where Hilda's a little more free flowing and like fun loving. They kind of made her a bit of an idiot.
Shut up, Butter.
No comments from the peanut gallery.
I think she has to go outside. You gotta go out. All right. Well, you continue your thought. I'm gonna go put the angry dog out.
Okay. So, I completely lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, Hilda and Zelda. Okay. In this one, they made her kind of an idiot. Like she's kind of like the hapless loser that can't seem to get anything right. They kind of made her into Professor Sprout from Harry Potter, which. I don't know if I necessarily agree with. I like the fact that although she was a little bit goofy and a little bit, freewheeling, the Caroline Ray portrayal of Hilda Spellman was a lot. There was some edge to her. Like she would get angry. She wouldn't be a complete pushover. And Zelda wasn't so dominatrixy as she was. I mean, that the cigarette holder to start off made her like, okay, yeah.
Javier says it wasn't cool. What's not cool? The portrayal of Hilda or the portrayal of Zelda? Because honestly, I kind of like the new take. Because the blonde ants from Sabrina, the original one that we saw, were supposed to be comedic. These ants are like...
Well, Zelda was always still more straight-laced than Hilda.
Right, but she wasn't evil.
No, this one
she wasn't dark. She was always just straight-laced. This is what's going to happen because she was very intelligent. Mm-hmm. This one is like, bitch, I'm going to fuck you up. Oh, yeah. He says he doesn't like the portrayal of Hilda or Zelda.
Well, I mean, I was getting a little annoyed with the way that they were doing Zelda and Hilda. And then out of nowhere, they make Zelda and Father Blackwood into the self-flagellating
crazy people,
which is just another not so subtle attempt to make
it's a Christian reference.
Yeah,
Opus Dei.
Yeah, but just to make us look like, oh, well, they're witches, so they're savages, and they're into all this debauchery and all this nonsense.
Let's not get it twisted. Do a lot of witches dabble in the BDSM scene? Sure, some do. Some actually use sexual magic as their thing. Do all of us do it?
No.
Do we actually answer to a council?
No.
Are we cannibals?
No.
Not now.
No.
Maybe back in the day.
Hey. I am not a cannibal, only if a census taker tries to test me.
I mean, let's not get it twisted. They portrayed a festival where they took 12, was it 12 or 13?
14.
14, thank you. 14 young witches that
supposedly virgins at that.
Yeah, okay. And they were going to eat them.
Oh, no, they were only going to eat one.
They were going to eat it. Just one.
And not in that way.
No. And that's what makes it crazy. It's like they're already complaining, at least in one of the episodes, I think, of how the witch population was declining.
Then stop eating somebody every year.
Yeah.
And you would think that, this is just one coven. There's other covens.
Multiple.
Because Miss Wardwall.
Denise goes, do some Christians dabble in BDSM? Yes, they do too. Oh, yeah, we know.
Yeah. More
some
so.
Jewish guys love BDSM. Love it. I can't tell you how many times.
Smack my matzo balls.
Oh my god. I can't tell you.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I'm getting a little verklempt.
I'll give you a topic to discuss. The peanut is neither a pea nor a nut discuss.
And as my cat decides to fuck with my computer. Thank you. Anyways. Well, I mean, let's not get it twisted. Like I said, you and I have been friends for so long, and we used to go to some pretty wild fucking goth and BDSM parties. And there would be mundanes there. And what were they? Almost always.
The sub.
They were always submissive to one of us. Well, not one of us personally, but he was always submissive, and it was almost always a Hasidic.
Mm. Well, you know.
Or even I've seen some Catholics there.
Yeah.
I've seen some normals.
Again, let me preface this not to come down on them in any way.
No,
They're
we're
allowed,
not.
but Orthodox Judaism is a very patriarchal run religion.
Very.
The men are always right, and the women are subservient to the point where they got to cut their hair. But
they have to shave their head.
Yes.
And then the husbands keep their hair in the bag. You didn't know that? You know those pillows they carry around? That's actually their wives' hair.
Yeah, I know. It just puts the weirdest thought in my head. It's like in the middle of the night.
I don't want to hear it. No.
All right, let me let butter in.
Okay. Oh, hi, Jeff. Excelsior. Yes, we are going to have at the end of the cast a moment of silence for Stan Lee because I was a hysterical mess the other day when I found out, and whatever. But we are talking Sabrina the Teenage Witch on Netflix and how it's
Don't get out of my seat.
How it's kind of accurate, but at the same time inaccurate, and how we enjoyed it, but we have some nitpicking to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's some nitpicking to be done about this, but overall, like I said, they did a good job.
They did.
It was entertaining.
I enjoyed it.
The storyline was engaging. You know, hey, it's kept me from playing Black Ops 4 for like, 6, 7, 8 hours, if not more?
About more. I would say maybe about 10.
For 10 hours? So 10 hours, I was not playing video games because I was watching this thing.
Yeah.
So it had to have an engaging storyline.
Same. No, I mean, let's not get it twisted. Like, the Feinics Gate in no way, shape, or form is against any form of your religion, my religion. We love varying of opinions. We love debates. Just because we follow a certain aesthetic and stuff. I mean, I don't even know the right words to use here.
What's the word you're trying to use?
Discipline. There we go. Just because we follow a certain discipline doesn't mean we don't have respect for other religions. In fact, it's actually our respect for other religions that makes us know probably more about these other religions than most people, and that's why we make fun of it, which is kind of ironic. Because believe it or not, you can trace witchcraft and healing and all sorts of these things, especially some of the things expressed in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, back to the times when we lived in caves. So it's not like they were shooting and hitting way off the mark with it. They actually were. You know, the one thing Tony, the one thing that I want to say is they did their homework.
Yeah. I mean, there were certain things they got right, and there were certain things that they
got very wrong.
May have embellished a little bit.
Just a bit. I mean, it is TV. Well, Netflix.
I mean, kind of that's the new wave of TV is this original streaming content.
That's true. Considering, do you remember when Netflix used to send you like DVDs
in the mail, and you had to make a list? Yeah.
And you could only get 3 at a time, and then if you didn't send them back, they charged you the full price of the movie. And ow, okay, all right, this is not fun for
furry tumor.
Fucking scotch. This is what happens when your cat wants to be part of your podcast. So, anyways. Let's go back to Hilda and Zelda. We kind of went off on a tangent.
Yeah.
You know, I really do like the fact that they introduced more characters.
Yeah. There was
their nephew.
Yeah, Ambrose.
I don't even remember if there was an Ambrose in the original.
No.
I don't think they spoke of him.
Well, no, there was obviously other Spellmans, but you never actually saw them except for Edward once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Which, though I do like that they kept the same name.
Yes.
It was Edward Spellman no matter what.
Yes. And I do like the fact that they did keep her half mortal.
Yeah, they did keep her half mortal. Just the way that they made him look, I kind of liked the Edward from the Melissa Joan Hart. Because he was the same guy that was the voice of the Beast.
Yes.
So when he would get angry, the Beast voice would come out, and it was greatly entertaining to us Disney nerds.
Yes. Jeffrey says, I respect other religions as well, but since I read the haters hate, they need to go play in traffic. Agreed.
Yep. And the first ones out into the street are the Westboro Baptists. Not saying, just saying.
We don't speak of them. Why? Because it's just too easy. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Diane.
So Hilda, I like the fact that they made her darker, and I like the fact that they still
You mean
kept.
Zelda?
Yeah,
Because Hilda is basically a grown-up version of Fat Amy from the Pitch Perfect movies.
but that's also the chick from Shaun of the Dead.
I know.
Yeah, and I like that. And that doesn't bother you that they have those weird accents in Massachusetts.
Well, because they're centuries old.
That's the other thing that kind of bugged me. They really, really, really pushed the whole fact that they were semi-immortal.
That they age more slowly.
Super slow.
Well, but they get that essentially for
Giving their soul.
Yeah, giving their soul to the devil, not saying, just saying. Okay.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You sign your soul in the Book of the Beast and you age 1,000,000 times slower than most people and you get all this crazy immense power. But you signed your soul over to Satan, who I when's the last time you saw like that Baphomet looking version of Satan? With fucking fangs, like that was a little. It made it a little campy for me. The
Just
fact
a
they
little
gave
cheesy.
that they gave him fangs,
and they made him growl, and that he, of course, lived in the caves. Like we haven't seen that a million fucking times, you know.
Though, it was a minor character for one episode or so that didn't. Apophis.
Yeah.
For those, because we play Smite, so we know Apophis.
And we've also read Lady Dead and watched the cartoons and actually know about certain things.
Yes, the ever hungry, ever consuming worm.
Let's not get it twisted. The demon, they were fun. I actually did enjoy how they portrayed them.
Like the Nightmare Demon, Baddie or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I really did enjoy it.
Yeah, they were unique. They were interesting,
and they weren't like super campy. Yeah. They weren't like super like
and going back to that particular episode with the Nightmare Demon, like that's what that show got like real dark. You have Ambrose performing an autopsy on himself,
and he feeling every part of it. Oof! I was like,
and then
well done.
Speaking of that episode, were you going to Zelda's Nightmare, where the Dark Lord is coming for dinner, and Hilda makes a vegetable pie.
And he likes the vegetable pie
over the roast child.
Yeah. Roast, what they call it? Long pig?
No, roast child. I think it's lawn pig.
Yeah.
But no, she just says roast child. But that being said, that sounds similar to something else in Catholic dogma now. Especially the way that ends up. Kind of sounds a lot like Cain and Abel, except, after Cain killed Abel, he wasn't made into a weird human centipede Siamese twin.
No, he wasn't. No, he was sent to heaven. I mean, there's so many different versions of Cain in cinema and TV and literature. I mean, we're talking about one of the oldest freaking stories in the world.
Katie Mohawk.
Yeah. Snickers. We're talking about one of the oldest stories in the world. And they did try to tie in all these elements in Sabrina, because if you're going to talk Lucifer, you have to talk Cain. You have to talk Lilith. These have to characters that need to somehow be incorporated into your storyline.
In the Catholic stage, these are like the OG big baddies right here.
The triple threat. Which, what other religion goes with the triple threat?
Could it be us?
Oh my God. And then, wait, what did the Catholics steal from us?
It's Cerberus.
Yes, this is right here.
This is Cerberus, but only one head.
Only one. Because she's happy. Anyways, I mean, there's so many references to Catholicism, Satan. Like, the only thing that bothered me is in the Satanistic part, they didn't really follow the ideals of true Satanism.
No.
At all. Satanists, you want to know a secret? Do not worship Satan. They don't. There is no Satan in the satanic religion. I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's chaos. They worship chaos.
Not just chaos. They worship
unrest,
pleasure.
Anarchy.
Pleasure.
Giving into your baser desires.
Yeah. Basically what they worship is themselves.
Yeah.
In their religion, they're the God.
Yeah. When they come down to it,
butter.
For those, again, we warned you that there were going to be spoilers in this.
And a lot of, things that may upset you, because I don't know your religion. I don't mean to offend you, but if we are, I apologize now, because this is literally just a debate and a review of a show that we actually really enjoy.
I'm sorry, I don't apologize.
I do.
But anyway,
I do, because I'm going to hear it later if I don't.
I'm sure. But
because even though it's my show, whatever.
Yeah, our religion has the threefold rule too.
It does.
Whatever you put out there comes back threefold upon you. But yeah, they sort of almost made like a little shaved ice of Satanism, and they said, "Okay, Sabrina, you got to go to the Academy of Unseen Arts, and you have to go to weekly black mass." Okay,
that's cool.
So, do you realize what you told your viewing public? You're going to subject a 16-year-old girl to every week?
Black mass.
Yes. And what is the culmination of black mass? Fucking on an altar.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I would prefer if black mass was just somebody getting spinning heel kicked every week.
But it's not.
It'd be a lot more fun, though.
I mean, they did kind of tweak it that way so they made it look like it wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean.
But, we're going to give you the inside track as to what the facts are.
We're going to tell you how it's really done. I mean, this is why we're basically sitting here saying, kind of inaccurate, Netflix. I mean, we understand you want the theatrics and the drama.
And you don't want to get, you don't want the FCC or the Parents Television Council coming down on you.
Well, the thing is they can. That's the wonderful thing about Netflix is it's not truly regulated the way that it should or could be, depending. But we get the edgier shit on Netflix because that kind of a TV show, I guarantee you, would never be on HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, or maybe Stars. Stars would probably do it.
Stars would do it. Cinemax would do it. Just hello,
late
Skinemax.
At night.
Skinemax.
Maybe HBO. I mean, they do have Game of Thrones.
And Oz.
Oz years ago. But that was before everybody was all like, oh my God, PC.
I don't know. Oz lasted.
Snowflakes.
Oz lasted until 2003, and I think the Parents Television Council was around at that point.
No, it started to get bad. It started to get bad then.
So they got out just before because they got to show all the manly butt love they wanted. But anyway, that's going off on a tangent. But on a related note, since we've just been sitting here talking, I've noticed there is one thing that this Netflix original streaming content has actually gotten right, and it's horror. A lot of their horror shit is dead on.
Yes.
We're talking Sabrina. We're talking the animated Castlevania, which, as an old school gamer like me, oh my God, thank you, Netflix.
Yes, we'll talk about that in another show. But
Black Mirror and all these other shows that are so great and they're
Altered Carbon.
You know what? I haven't watched that one yet. But
watch it. Oh my God!
Do it now! Stop whining, quit shouting. Do it now!
Oh my God, you're missing out. You are missing out if you have not watched Altered Carbon, especially because they're coming out with another season.
And Timmy Turner, that's why you do not deserve any godparents.
But I mean, let's not get it twisted. Going with the new shape of the flow of the Feinics Gate, we are going to be a lot darker. We are going to be talking about more horror. We are going to be talking about more things that are off the beaten path. Things that you want to know about, but you may be too afraid to ask, so you go to Google. And Google isn't going to give it to you straight. No. We're going to give it to you straight.
Don't go to Google. Don't go to Wikipedia.
Go to the Feinics Gate.
Go to the Feinics Gate. Drop us a line. Yeah. Let us know what you want us to talk about.
It's true.
And when we can, we will fit it in. And you know what? We'll even give you a shout out for suggesting it.
Pretty much. I mean, you can find us here on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Podbean. And it's all spelled the same, the Feinics Gate. So drop us a line if there's something you want us to talk about that may be off the beaten path or you're too afraid to ask your friends because they'll look at you like you're a freak. We won't. We don't judge.
No.
Only shows and movies.
Well, we judge, but it's judged with love.
Hi, Dominique. Yeah. We come from a place of cynical love because we have love, but also cynical about it. It's what goths do.
We're kind of that aunt that shows up at Christmas and asks you, when are you going to marry a nice young man?
We're not even that. We're like the hedgehog. We're really cute, but we're prickly. So hug us Gently.
Do, 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 do.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Just because I'm deciding to go with a darker turn in the gate doesn't mean I'm going to stop talking about all the poppy bubblegum shit that I was talking about before. We're still going to talk about cosplay, and we're still going to talk about conventions.
Yeah, I mean,
We're both cosplayers.
Yeah, I mean, for those that want to, if I'm remembering it off the top of my head right now, my Instagram is medic_of_Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to. No, on my Instagram, it's just Medic of Gotham.
Oh, you got rid of 1013?
No, that was Cardiac 1013 before I changed it.
There you go.
Yeah, so Medic of Gotham, feel free to follow me. When we go to cons, I will upload pictures. She will upload pictures.
And we'll be interviewing people, too.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to come and be on the show,
And thankfully, I joined the show after majorly fanboying out in front of Alex Kingston. Because if that was on video, I may have had to stick my head in the oven. Because, oh my God, I walked up there, just as a side note, I walked up to her, and she looks me dead in the face and goes, "Hello, sweetie." And literally, I just turned into a gibbering 15-year-old. I was like, I love Dr. Elizabeth Corday. And she was like, "Oh, that's so sweet that you even remember that character." I was just like, sign here, picture. Now, if that wasn't bad enough that I knew I was fanboying internally, there were these 3 British chicks behind me online to meet Alex Kingston. Like, "Oh, look, he's blushing." And I was like, "Shut up." Because they followed me from Carolina Ravassa. For those people who don't know who she is, she's the voice of Sombra from Overwatch.
Yeah. And we are video gamers, so we will be talking about that too. Just because I'm taking this show in a slightly new direction doesn't mean that we're going to not talk about the things that you want to hear. I mean, we're talking about a show that has literally, I know people that are like super straight-laced, hardcore straight edge that loved Sabrina. That actually really did. I got friends of mine in, like, my friend Javi, who I don't know if he's still watching right now. My friend Javier, he lives in California. He's awesome. I love you. And he's with the 501st Legion. You know, I mean, they're all about Star Wars. And he liked Sabrina. You know, I got Jeff. You remember Juggernaut?
Yes.
Right, Juggy. Juggy's here. He's paying attention to us. He's a faithful fan. He tunes in almost every week. I got my Dominique here, who's another cosplayer and a beautiful one. She's the Dark Phoenix that I took pictures with at
yes.
Yeah, at Comic-Con. She had the really nice wings behind her.
Mm-hmm.
That's my Dominique. You know, we're literally going to be, if you can hear the stuff in the background. Oh, well, Dee, if you haven't finished watching it, I suggest, even though I love you and I'm glad that you're tuning in, get off. Get off now because we're going to spoil it for you.
Spoilers.
Spoil. I mean, unless you don't care about us spoiling it and you're going to continue to watch it anyway.
Yeah, and
then feel free.
Hey, sit down, crack open a beer, glass of wine, do what you got to do.
I got mead. Boo-boo. I'm doing mead.
I have Pipeworks Lucky Cat, which is a strawberry hibiscus beer. Yeah, there will be beer snobbery on this channel once in a blue moon.
Oh, no, you can have it if you want.
Excellent.
You can have beer snobbery, and we'll put that all over Instagram so we can suggest to you the different things to drink. I myself already know what I like, but I trust him when it comes to certain things because he knows what I like.
Well, I just noticed you still have the bottle of wine I gave you as a housewarming gift right up there.
Mm-hmm. It's not opened.
Oh, I know.
I'm not going to open it.
No, we'll save it for something important.
Yeah, like when we go and get a sponsor. Netflix, sponsor us. We love you.
Netflix, sponsor us. GeekyJerseys.com, sponsor us.
Yeah.
Anybody that wants us to wear their shit on camera.
Pretty much.
Sponsor us.
Does
Maybe
Trip still exist?
Yeah, because I bought the Trip pants.
No, I know. I'm saying so they can sponsor us too.
Oh, Trip, yeah.
Yeah.
That way, here's a non-Sabrina related spoiler. Coming soon to a con near you. The punk rock Luna and Artemis.
Yeah, because I mean everybody knows me for my Luna cosplay, but everybody's been doing the punk scouts lately, and I love it. I'm living
all about
for it. But nobody does the cats.
Nobody does punk Luna. Nobody does punk Artemis.
We are, and we'll be the first.
Even though there was a con where the first run of punk Artemis was shown. I'm not going to mention what con, what year it was, because I'm not particularly thrilled with the way it turned out because it kind of half-assed it at the last second.
It's fine. We're gonna be amazing.
Yeah, no, I've got everything I need to for the finished version. I've even added, for those who will go and follow me, there are pictures of me from Comic-Con with certain people. I'm hoping you figure out what my cosplay was. For those that can't, I took my own spin on Frank Castle, the Punisher. I made the Punisher medic. That was a
did.
legitimate black and white paramedic's uniform with the Punisher t-shirt underneath and the tack vest and pistols, and I've added more pistols to
They're
it.
loving the cats right now. I'm sorry. I have 7. You guys don't seem to understand. I have 7 cats that live in this apartment with me and 2 dogs. So I have 7 familiars. Actually, 9 if you count my dogs. But they have a mind of their own, and even if I shove him off, he will protest, and
He'll be back.
in
in
about 5 minutes. He'll jump on either his lap or mine, and he's already there. He's underneath Mog's. Yeah, there he is. He's back.
This is why we call you the Scooch.
You are the Scoochie. Well, anyways, so I mean, we went off on a major tangent there.
Yeah, we did. But anyway, bringing it back to Sabrina.
Back to Sabrina.
Well done, Netflix, for taking a classic, that was classic Friday night television.
Yeah.
Was Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Friday night,
you kept enough of the integrity of the original, but you took it in your own sort of weird Netflixy twisted horror thriller direction, which both of us dig.
I enjoyed.
I thought it was really cool.
Don't think that we're nitpicking it because we hated it. We actually truly enjoyed it.
We liked it.
We liked it a lot. Tony, say hi if you're going to be annoying. Yeah, that's right.
No. Watch. Tony.
Everybody's saying hi, Tony. Well, all right, so let's go back to Sabrina. I mean, how many episodes was it? 10?
10, something like
8
that.
or 10?
8 or 10
Anywhere
episodes.
between 8 and 10 episodes. We are getting the Christmas special that was just announced for
Which,
the 14th.
for a first run, was
Excellent.
a decent amount of episodes.
Yes.
I mean, not like
Butter!
other ones where you got 3 episodes, Castlevania.
I mean, and I also do like the fact that, both you and I are anime geeks.
Yeah.
Full blown. I'm actually just finished an anime, and I want to talk about it soon, but I suggest you watch it. It is on Netflix as well, and it's called Angels of Death, and it was so fucking good.
Now, did you watch Fate?
Not yet. Good.
So many characters are references to stuff we like.
Ooh.
Even though and you would like it because King Arthur's a female.
I like that. Okay, so that's the next thing I'll binge watch then, and we can talk about it next week.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch
the pre-Thanksgiving episode.
The pre-Feast of Feasts episode.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I kind of do like the fact that they did stick with our holidays, though.
Mm.
They did. They actually did it correctly.
They made great reference to Sam Hain.
It's Samhain.
I know it's Samhain. You know it's Samhain.
But they kept saying Sam Hain.
We are not part of the Insane Clown Posse. We don't say Sam Hain.
No.
It's Samhain.
It's Samhain. It's a Celtic word dating back centuries. In my Halloween episode, I explained it.
Yes.
It's come on, guys.
Yes. That was, and actually the Halloween episode was the preview for the emergence of Mog, because I was the one having the whole conversation with her that whole podcast.
That is true. You were. Yep. Yeah, I was. You basically put your feet into the pool that is the Phoenix Gate. And I like it.
I knocked on the gate.
You did. And it's funny because, you know what, honestly, one of my friends pointed out to me that even though I call you Mog and people may not understand that it stands for Medic of Gotham, truly, my friend goes to me, she goes, that could actually stand for Master of the Gate. I'm like, it could, but he ain't my master, so no.
No.
No. But
well, they're saying I'm Master of the Gate, not Master of the Phoenix.
True. That's my domain. Yeah.
I am the gatekeeper. I am the key master.
They're coming out with possibly a third.
I know.
Oh, and it's going to be the original characters except for Raimi because, rest in peace. And Stan. Oh.
Poor Egon.
Stan Lee.
Oh, God.
We will have that moment of silence at the end of the cast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, there will be a moment of silence.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be actually fucking silent. And if you can't hear that the slight music that's in the background is playing, believe it or not, is one of the premier people. Baby bats is what we would call somebody that's just getting into the goth scene. We call them baby bats. And what's the one thing that usually brings a baby bat to the actual goth scene before they get real heavy into it is music. And one of the big things that brings people is Depeche Mode. believe it or not.
Yeah.
Which is hysterical considering Depeche Mode got started in the 80s, right?
Something like that.
Something like that. My mother would know. And they were a big, like, you know, underground electronica kind of band that was on the darker side of like these clubs that you would go to. Like, and these are people that would be like Sue and the Banshees and all that shit. But Depeche Mode is usually what will bring a baby bat to the fold that is goth, the fold that is what we love to be. And that's just dark and fluffy.
Trying to not say it.
Say it.
I want my baby bat ribs. Chili's baby bat ribs.
I knew
baby
it.
dolls.
I knew it. Jeff's talk. Thanks, Mom. 80s. So this band's been around for a good 30 years. Because I'm 33, you're 35, gonna be 36, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 34. So we've grown up listening to this band. So yeah, 80s. And oh, that's right. Tim Burton is doing the Dumbo, but we're not talking about that today, Juggy.
No.
We're gonna talk about
Considering the only image in a trailer from that movie is gonna give us the feels. And I don't feel like getting verklempt right now.
Honestly, we're gonna be verklempt enough with the Stan Lee tribute.
Oh God.
So we'll save more feels for the pre-Thanksgiving episode of The Gates.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
More Sabrina. We didn't really talk about the cousin.
Oh yeah. There was because he's a complete out of left field.
And he's gay.
Yeah.
I
So
like
you
that.
not only did you have him as pagan, witch, whatever, he's also gay. And
I
that
like
is
that.
Sabrina's mysteriously black cousin Ambrose. And that's all cool because hey, everybody's down with the swirl at some point.
But the
in
thing
their life.
is I don't know who's the mom. Is it Hilda or Zelda?
I don't think it's either.
Yeah.
I think
it may be like another.
He's a ward like Sabrina.
No, he was a cousin.
No, he's Hilda and Zelda's ward. Like
Well,
Sabrina
he got chained there because
Yeah.
of something he did, which is kind of cool because that's kind of a nod to the original Salem character who was trapped in the cat body and
for being a witch trying to overthrow the Witches' Council.
Right, which is I think what Ambrose tried to do.
I'm sorry, since we're talking about the Witches' Council,
Yeah.
can we talk about those outfits and what they are? A blatant.
Oh my God! Yes.
Now I'm sorry, Netflix. Bravo for making the Witches' Council, who I've already just said they seem to be more or less puritanical Christians than actual witches. And then you dress up the Witches' Council like a black version of the Klan. Good job.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Yeah. That was quite the turn.
When that happened, I was just like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Oh my God.
Like, I don't even have to try.
Like, put it this way. Ancient druids actually dressed in white robes, but we didn't have fucking pointy ass hoods. I mean, most of the time, anytime we practice any type of thing, we didn't have. A lot of us would go skyclad, which means naked.
A lot of us didn't have anything on. We was all as naked as the day we was born.
Yeah, because most rituals were born again. But it's like bravo on that little nya because like people always assume that everybody dresses up in black robes and dances in a circle, and that's not exactly what they did. But it's kind of cool that I like that Ambrose character is tied into the kind of the original Salem because if you remember on the Melissa Joan Hart version, Salem's trapped as a cat, no magic, and he's under the responsibility of Hilda and Zelda. Ambrose, black guy, trapped in the house under the stewardship of Hilda and Zelda.
Yes.
Well done.
Yeah, the only difference was Ambrose, they kept saying, oh, well, he still has to stand trial. He still has to stand trial.
No, I thought he did.
No, because remember then Black Witch trying to get him to narc on Sabrina.
Oh.
And he's like, oh, well, maybe we can get this overturned.
The verdict was overturned because he didn't narc out his friends.
That was the one that he wouldn't do.
Right.
And that's what but there was still a way, there was still an appeal or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Salem had no appeals. Salem was
he was just like, no, fuck you, you're done.
Which I'm sorry for those of us who are big nerds of cartoons and everything. The voice of Salem is also the voice of Norbert from the Angry Beavers. Yeah. And as a big fan of the Angry Beavers, I missed the voice. No, that's Daggett.
Oh yeah, right. Who
toe.
also does Zim.
Yes, and we both met him at Comic-Con.
Yes, we did.
Oh,
and I also met the voice of Gurr.
Well, I met the voice of Gurr a couple of years ago, and he autographed that exact picture that you have over there for her. I got the original Ricky Simmons print where it's Gurr holding a lightsaber and the lightsaber is going through the front of the dog hood.
Ooh.
And
I like
he
that one.
autographed that for me because in the middle of a
Butter,
con,
shut up.
in the middle of a con where I was working, he started having an upset tummy, and I jumped in my car and drove to 7-Eleven to get him the little chewable Pepto-Bismol tablets.
Well, aren't you
Because,
the sweetest?
well, no, because those of us who have met Ricky Simmons, he's the nicest guy in the world,
Really is.
but he's a little particular. He likes things the way he likes them, and as long as it's that way, he's the nicest guy in the world.
We're the same way.
I haven't seen him ever get angry. He just gets upset.
Yeah, I mean, we're the same way, honestly. If we
Yeah.
don't have things a certain way, we don't like it.
Truth.
You know, I mean, like,
Sure.
and you know what kind of bothers me is like,
The fact that David Tennant charged $100 for an autograph, not going off on too much of a tangent, where I got a picture and an autograph from Alex Jameson for $80.
we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. Con rage is real, because as it is, it's gonna cost probably. Are you going to WinterCon?
Maybe.
I'm going.
Then I'll try to make it work.
Yeah. So just a quick side note: this weekend, me and a couple of the guys from the Second Rounds on Us, Florida, and New York City edition will be at GameCon over here at Resorts World, while other members, other members of the Second Rounds New York City edition will be at Anime Next. So that's pretty cool. We're dividing and conquering the con world this weekend. And then for WinterCon, all of us will be there. I will be there. All the New York City edition and a member of the Florida edition and Notorious Bex, who is the current champion of the Who You Got Challenge. Excuse me. Bad taste in my mouth.
Now, for those of us
But that she's defending her title.
Since I'm new, what is this Who You Got Challenge?
Okay, so the Who You Got Challenge is something that the Rounds created. It is where we go and create a battle royale between popular characters. You get 4 from movies, 4 from video games, 4 from TV, and 4 from comics. No gods can be chosen, so you can't have like Thor. You can't use Thor.
No Thor, no Loki.
No Loki. You can't use them.
No
They're
Odin,
gods.
yeah.
Anybody that we also deem to have godlike power cannot be used.
So no Superman.
No Superman.
Good. I hate Superman.
Yeah. We're also not allowed to use the Hulk.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, I think.
But they basically what we do is we draft our characters, and then we have a conference, and the characters duke it out until we have one champion, and then that champion goes on to the chosen convention and fights all the other champions. And it's actually you guys, the wonderful people that love us and follow us on the rounds and the second rounds and me everywhere. They vote who they like best, and whoever has the most votes at the end of the weekend wins. And then whoever had that character is the champion. Yeah. Right now it's Beck. She won with Rick Sanchez from New York City Comic Con. She did.
She won with Rick.
She won with Rick. And she's actually the first female to ever win the Who You Got Challenge. So congratulations. You're still going to lose at WinterCon. Not to me. I'm not doing it. But maybe one day the Feinics Gate will throw their hat in the Who You Got Challenge ring.
You never know.
Either way. So we will be at WinterCon. I'll be at GamerCon. Others will be at Anime Next. So seriously.
I'll be at WinterCon. Possibly if I can get my cosplay done on time. I will. If not, it'll wait for the next con.
Honestly, I think we should wait with the Punks.
No, the Punks is Eternal Con.
The Punks is Eternal Con next year.
Yes.
We're definitely set in stone.
Yeah. For the next cosplay, if anybody's interested, here is a big, big spoiler. Well, she knows what it is already. So,
which is cool because if I really wanted to, I could break out Cammy. I could.
You could. You could break out Cammy. I've actually shown people pictures of your Cammy, and they're like, wow, that's pretty legit.
Thank you. I mean, it's only going to get better after the 12th.
But yeah.
Can you imagine how I'm going to look next year? Woo! It's going to be great. Y'all don't even know what's coming for you.
Oh, you didn't know?
But see, on top of that other stuff that we do talk about, we will be frequenting some of the darker cons. Chiller.
Walker Stalker. This right now. I will shut that shit down.
Lucille is thirsty. But unfortunately, that is our sister Ashley from the Florida edition's boo, so he's untouchable. That's her boo. No one touches him.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Come on, you know I'm a fount of useless knowledge. I'll pull people out of left field.
It's true. And the thing is the wonderful part about it is we literally, Mog is me, but with a dick. That's it. Like,
Facts.
we're the same human being. We have the same mindset. We're on the same wavelength. Literally, he can finish my sentences for me, and I can do the same for him. And if you didn't notice before, we happen to talk in unison a lot. Yeah. So, get used to it.
Like I said, oh, you would know?
Oh.
Your ass better call somebody.
Oh, wrestling is just, it's on. What?
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
Spoiler alert on the Phoenix Gate.
Yeah.
The Forgotten Saint may be going back into the ring in 2019.
That'd be cool. Better stop it.
Cerberus.
I don't know. I mean, like, did we really go off on an extreme tangent from Sabrina? I mean, like, what else can we really cover with Sabrina? We're almost at the wire.
I think it's time for the moment of silence. I think that's where we're at this point.
I do want to agree with you on this. So, Alexa, stop. We're going to turn off the music. We're all going to just right now, we're taking Stanley literally touched everybody I know's
so many lives. So many lives.
So, my mom, me, you, everybody I know, every single person I know was affected with the fact that this amazing man passed.
Honestly, anybody that reads a comic book in this day and age owes their right to read an interesting and well thought out comic book thanks to Stan Lee. Because he stood up to the comic books code back in the 60s?
The 60s.
In the 60s, there was a comic book code where there couldn't be any drugs, nothing interesting.
No blood.
No blood, no nothing.
Had to be all cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Butter.
And
We're having a moment of silence.
And Stan Lee fought against that.
He did. And he gave us some of the most beloved characters of all time.
Spider-Man, the Hulk. I mean, and he crossed just the print genre.
So many.
I mean, come on. Was it 1992?
Yeah.
He's talking to Jason Lee about the Thing's cock in Mallrats.
It's true. It's true. Well, Jason Lee was talking to him about it.
Yeah. and then come the early 2000s, there was the great comic book movie resurgence. Spider-Man, the good bad.
Do we really want to say those Spider-Mans belong in the resurgence? Because honestly, I think the resurgence started with Iron Man.
Well, regardless, he was in them.
That's true.
That man was in all of his movies at some point.
One.
And in my opinion, he should stay in every movie.
Well, see, unfortunately now.
Well, they did it in the Ghostbusters movie.
That's true. They did. They did. But what I like the most about it is that he did actually manage to finish his cameo in Avengers 4. So we are going to see that.
Good.
He did. I think he also finished it in, what was the other movie that they said that he did? I think it was Black Panther 2. Or something like, I'm not sure.
No, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, thank you. He did do the Captain Marvel cameo, which I can't wait to see.
Yeah. I've been obsessed with Brie Larson for many years.
Yeah, he really has. But this man literally, he gave me a character. Like, there's no way that I could be who I am now if he hadn't given me the Phoenix, Jean Grey. And he did. And they're fighting because they know that we're upset. My cats can read emotion. But we're talking about like 10 years ago, and you were witness to this because you weren't actually at the con, but you were witness to this because I called you up freaking the fuck out about it. Was the first time that I ever got to meet Stan Lee in person. It was 10 years ago when I was still with my ex-fiance, Kevin. Kevin and I, it was also the first real emergence of my Feinics cosplay 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, because originally I did the movie version, which was crap. I still have that costume. I just refuse to wear it.
No, I always liked the green with the gold Phoenix on it better.
I did too. It was the first time I ever wore that costume, and Stan Lee was at New York City Comic Con. Unfortunately, Kevin and I did not have the money to go, and he wasn't doing photo ops then because it wasn't really the same 10 years ago. It was different. New York City Comic Con's changed. We've been over that. I'm not getting into it again. But he happened to be walking to, I guess, his next interview, and Kevin and I happened to be there, and we were hoping to catch a glimpse of him. He stopped everything and pulled me and Kevin to him and said that if his characters were ever real people, like based on actual people, they would be me and him. I called this one up freaking out, telling him,
"Oh my gosh, Stanley!" And that's verbatim the way it came out.
pretty much, because I was also trying to shout over the many people in Comic-Con. But,
That's-
you know, I literally told him, I go, I can leave this place right now, get hit by a bus, and I'll die happy. Because that man recognized me as the true Jean Grey. I was his embodiment of the character, physically. Mentally, too, but he doesn't know that. Yeah, whatever.
Well, he knows now because he's got all cosmic knowledge.
He's always had cosmic knowledge. Are you kidding me?
In a strange way, he is now the Watcher.
Oh, shit. He is. And my mom says that he was a
Oh,
class
old school
act of a
comic books in
legend.
your face, y'all.
Yes. He was
But-
a class act of a legend. Well, what about your stories about Stan?
I mean, come on. I was a fat kid growing up in Queens, New York. Comic books were my escape.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Iron Man, the X-Men,
Yeah.
Silver Surfer, Captain America. I mean, Stan Lee was the driving force behind all of these characters.
It's true.
And you know what? I'm sure he had a hand in every different storyline they went under. Into the Spider-Verse, the Civil War, Planet Hulk.
They also did have that in the 90s, the DC Marvel crossover. And he was he even said, I think I was listening to an old interview, I think it was from Conan, 1995.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how they were doing the gigantic Marvel DC crossover.
Yeah. And in the long and short, all right, this will sum up what Stan Lee meant to me personally.
Yeah.
When he passed, somebody put up, and I believe it was like 1990, they had a Marvel Comics trading card line.
Oh,
And there was
I
a
remember
Stan
that.
Lee card that said Mr. Marvel. And they put that up. I saw that picture on Facebook, and it hit me right here. Because I remember getting that card, and like my mom didn't understand because she kind of knew comic books a little bit because I read them. They were all over my bedroom, blah, blah, blah.
Clean these up!
No, I mean, she understood who Spider-Man was, who Iron Man was, Captain America, Silver Surfer, etc.
My mom did too.
And she was like, who's this? She thought it was like Captain Marvel that my dad used to watch, who later became Shazam. But she thought that's who I was like, no, that's Stan Lee, the guy that runs Marvel Comics. And for those that have never seen that card, it's literally a picture of Stan Lee, but he's a little bit Captain America, a little bit Wolverine, a little bit Spider-Man, a little bit
He's
Hulk.
a little bit of everything.
His face has little colors of everything. And that's just what he was, so many things to so many people. And unfortunately, in 2018, we did lose a lot of very important people. In the past couple of years, we've lost a lot of very important people. And, you know, it hurt. But there was nothing that it literally took the breath out of my lungs.
I've only cried for 2 other celebrities in my entire life. 2. Robin Williams.
Same here.
Chester Benningfield. I cried. I didn't cry as hard for Chester.
I was
it was
Robin
more
Williams.
shock. It
I
was
was
more
Robin
shock.
Williams and Carrie Fisher.
I didn't cry for Carrie. I was more upset. But I
Fat
didn't
kid growing
cry.
up in Queens, New York, big Star Wars nerd.
I'm a huge Star Wars nerd too, but I still didn't cry. And you know I don't cry.
No, you don't.
So for me making the announcement to the world right now that I cried for 2 celebrities, like I was legit like hysterical fucking for Robin Williams. And then I was just as bad, if not maybe worse, for Stan Lee, because I went from having an absolutely fantastic day to bawling for the rest of the day. And Fernando's going to me, he's like, are you all right? Are you going to be okay? And I'm like, I'll be fine. It'll never be okay again though.
So
Stop. We'll let you out in a second. We're having our moment of silence, damn it.
that in and of itself. All right.
Let's have our quick moment of silence. And then
Everybody
we're
there
gonna
watching
sign
out
off.
with us, bow your heads and just remember what Stan Lee meant to you.
Bow your heads, raise your glasses, do whatever it is that you want that will pay your respects. But this is for the great and utter. I should get out my bowl. Ding, but whatever.
Yeah.
But we're saying our moment of silence now, and then we're going to say goodbye because it's that time of the hour. So, Stanley, thank you for shaping our lives. We love you forever.
You will be missed.
More than you'll ever know. Apparently, my dog doesn't know the meaning of silence.
Okay.
We're done.
All right. Well, And we're gonna sign off.
Yeah, we're gonna say our goodbyes.
With Stan Lee's great one-liner that's gone throughout his entire career. The count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Stan, we miss you. Excelsior!
But
Thank you for watching the Phoenix Gate. Hopefully, I'll be back in the weeks to come, and you'll see more of me.
Yeah. So this is the Phoenix Gate. Thank you for tuning in. We apologize again if we spoiled your day, but we did warn you in the beginning. About it. And catch us next week's Wednesday. I can't exactly say time because I don't know yet, but we are on every single Wednesday. You can find us on Instagram at the Phoenix Gate. You can also find us on Facebook, the Phoenix Gate Podcast.
If you follow us on Facebook, you'll get a notification when we're casting.
Yes, you will. Feel free to share this cast anywhere you choose because we love people. If there's something that you want us to talk about, hit us up any way, shape, or form. We're on Instagram. On Facebook. Also don't forget tomorrow to tune into the Second Rounds on Us New York City edition for their Thursday night shenanigans. And then we have the Second Rounds on Us Florida edition coming to you, I think Saturday is their next cast. So check them out. And as always, thank you, Podcast City Network, for featuring the wonderful triangle that is the rounds. And find us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, Stitcher, and Podbean. And with that, we love you. Later. Peace. We'll be back next week. Bye. Okay, ending broadcast. Bye. And that's that. Bunk.
I think that went remarkably well.
Yeah, you're definitely coming back.
I know. I'm just not going to
Who the fuck laid a dump?